Okay. Welcome to episode 14 in my series, Road to the Universe. Now I am officially 1 week out from my qualifying show, which is the WFF Pan Pacific Championships in New Zealand. So this is officially peak week number 1. Now I will tell you how much I dislike using the word peak week, probably because I feel like it doesn't accurately describe what I do in the last 7 days before a competition. But if you don't use trending terms on YouTube, funnily enough, they don't think that your video is popular and they don't show your video to people in their homepage. So this is peak week. Anyway, with my training, it stays the same. I have the same program and I still strive to build muscle. That part never goes away. I still lift as heavy as I can and I still work to try and beat my previous workout either in reps or in weight. So I always sit down and I have a little bit of time to just track all my reps and sets. And that's really valuable data because I can actually look back and see, yes, I was getting PBs all the way up to those last few workouts before I get on stage. Afternoon, I'll sit down like this and I'll practice my makeup. But I'm not just practicing it to make sure that I can do it. I'm doing reps again here because I want to practice having a very steady hand. When you put makeup on with no pressure, you're going to have a steady hand. But on comp day, when you're nervous, the adrenaline's pumping, you've had a little bit of sugar, your hand might not be as steady. So I'm doing reps here again just to make sure that I can practice having a very steady hand. That way when I put my makeup on comp day, it still looks good. Then later that night, I'm putting my costume on and doing a run through of my routine and my posing. So this is not just to see how the outfit looks, it's also just to make sure that it's tied up in all the right spots. And then when I do all my poses, that it's also sitting in the right spots. I'm doing reps here again. So this is not just to make sure that I remember my routine, that I know all the moves, but it's to condition my body to the moves as well. So especially with the routine, I'll do it at least 5 or 6 times. And each time I do it, I try and squeeze and flex and stretch harder and harder. Because as my body warms up, I can get deeper and deeper into the poses. And that just means that I can hit the poses harder and make them look even better. So if I just practice the routine through, say, 2 or 3 times, my body doesn't get conditioned to the routine as much as if I do it 5 or 6 or even 10 times. The 10th time I do the pose will look much better than the first. And I still check in and do my weekly videos like this where I'm looking at my physique. I do them even if I don't think my body has changed, because sometimes you do surprise yourself and there's changes that you couldn't see in the mirror. But also it's good to look back on previous data when you're doing future competitions and just to see at what point your body did start to change, because you will go through periods where your body doesn't change very much and then suddenly it changes a lot. And you just never really know when it's going to happen. So taking videos like this is just really helpful to just remove the emotion and just look at the objective data. Now this is where things start to get really exciting, because I've got my first layer of tan. Thursday night, went to see a friend who sprays my first layer on. So this is the next morning, 5:20 a.m. It's looking lovely and dark. I am wearing a black onesie because now I have to be really careful not to get tan on anything. And then I head to the airport with my friend Kirby, and we're both very unimpressed with the fact that she's trying to check in her badge, but none of these machines are working. So we're off to a good start. Make sure I've always got my food diary with me, because when you start traveling and the time zone changes and your routine is completely flipped upside down, it's easy to just kind of forget what you're doing, or later on you might want to have a record of what you did and you can't remember. So I make sure that I'm writing everything down that I'm eating and whether I actually finish the meals or not as well. One of the most exciting, probably overwhelming parts of competing is the night before, when you get to eat a little bit of high energy carbohydrate or even some good fats just to make you look a little bit more vascular on the day. So here I'm trying to choose peanut butter, and it's only until you can actually have something like this that you realize how much choice there is and how overwhelming it is. I mean, look at how many different types of peanut butter there is. So I'm finding it very hard to decide. And then it's time to settle into our little place that we're staying for the night. Do a tour of this is our New Zealand batch. Batch is a New Zealand word. Kiwi for beach house. Let's have a look. Small room. Laid out all my stuff, ready to put my second coat of tan on. Kirby's room. Kitchen. Currently cooking my fillet steak with potato wedges. This is the bathroom, so I'm going to, I've got all my stuff set up in here to start putting on my second coat of tan. So I'm going to roll that on with paint roller. Little lounge area. And little outdoor patio. Now I'm going to start putting my final layer of base tan on. So this is not even the last part. This is just the last part of the base tan. A top coat goes on the day. But I put this on with a paint roller. So I paint myself as if I'm painting a wall. And I always have this panic moment when I start putting it on, because when it's wet, it's so much darker. But then when it dries, it's this beautiful, even colour. So this part, I really take my time. It's going to take about an hour and a half. And that's with help from a friend. But you know what? I've got nothing else to do. It helps me to kind of just stay nice and calm. This is quite therapeutic for me, this part of competing. This video won't get posted until after the show because I won't have time to edit it. But I need to make this video now to talk about what it feels like the night before a show. I'm very tired, I'm thirsty, my mouth is very dry, and because I had to get up really early, I haven't had as much sleep as I hoped to get. I didn't practice my posing as much as I planned to in the last couple of days. That's okay, that's what happens when you travel. A lot of things just don't go to plan, and the only thing you can try to control is whether you are in shape or not. So I've tried to do that. Despite the fact that I'm really tired, I do actually feel really good. So at this point I do stop drinking water. Won't drink water again until after the show. Will have a short black in the morning though, with the least amount of water possible. Just coffee helps things move. And there's not much else I can do now. That's why I want to go to sleep early too. Because yeah, you do look good when you're well slept. But also, it's less time to overthink. Let yourself get nervous. This is my first pro show. Universe will be my second pro show. So I'm doing this as a qualifier for Vegas. Here we go. See you on the other side.